You have to keep going back to what was your original goal, what was your key performance indicator, and how do you stay that course? Because we're intellectuals and we're doing our research and trying to figure out how to move forward, but whoever's leading this charge or helping facilitate this charge, they have to stay with their original goal. So that's been the challenge of not getting off track and not moving away. Also, another challenge is you have to remember this work takes time. So the process I've described in that quality control up front, it takes a year for a faculty member to get there, which is a lot of thought, a lot of application, but it probably took us 3.5 years to get to the process through all that work. If we go all the way back to when our college developed institutional learning outcomes, that's almost 8 years. So this is it's not a sprint. It's a slow movement forward, staying the course, staying on that goal, and I think that's really a challenge in any working institution, that you take that long-term approach and you look at the data over a longer period of time. If you're wishing to diversify populations, increase the number of faculty and staff and students that you're examining through data sets, you have to know that's going to change that data set just mathematically. So you're looking at the idea of high impact practice across many more courses. You may find the first year that you do that, your success rates drop instead of going up because of your data set. And you have to have someone in place that can understand the data and that can look at that data consistently over time. So a challenge for us, I guess, and a challenge for any institution is patience. Taking it over time, knowing this is a process that could take you 5, 6, 7 years. And that's a hard thing to do when you have students coming and going and you're thinking, oh, I want to save this one right now, right? I can't wait that long. But it's a change in teaching and learning that are small, subtle changes that just culminate as you go. Quality assurance at Chattanooga State, in the idea of high impact practice, we have to think first about how do we want to look at pedagogy and evaluate pedagogy for quality. Now that's a very hard thing to do because faculty, staff, and students all have a different perspective about what quality teaching and pedagogy is. What we focused on at Chattanooga State through CARE was to look at the quality from the front end of this process, not to tell faculty, okay, now add this high impact practice, here's the professional development, now we're going to assess you to see whether or not it really is high impact. In explaining the process on how faculty move to code a course, we put quality control at the front end of that process. Designating a HIPS course is coding in Banner, but for a faculty member who's just interested, they have a choice. They can go through a series of professional development. They can join a community of practice that's led by a HIPS master faculty, and then they work through the process through a semester of engaging in that high impact practice in their course, doing a pre, mid, and post reflection about their experiences, and then analyzing their data at the end of the course. At that time, they can make the choice whether they now feel confident that attribute and that high impact practice have been successful. Do they need to change it? Is there continuous improvement? And then they can apply with their HIPS master faculty and with that group to code that course in Banner. In order to do that, they make an application to their HIPS master faculty. It is reviewed by the HIPS Advisory Board, which is part of Faculty Senate. It then goes through our campus-wide curriculum committee as an information item to the committee saying we are adding this attribute to Banner, and it is immediately pushed to our records office. And it becomes an attribute in Banner that students can recognize, that other faculty members can recognize as a HIPS course. It takes, on average, a faculty member from start to finish of moving through that process, one academic year.